Hello Matern, so for today's video we're going to discuss the last lesson in General Physics 1. It is all about static equilibrium. So sooner or later we will open a lesson for General Physics 2 or continue the lesson in General Chemistry 1. So let me introduce you about this lesson and watch this video till the end for more information. So let us start. So let us introduce the prerequisites of our lesson. So it is application of pre-calculus, which includes the trigonometry and geometry. Basic calculus also includes derivatives and integrals. And technical drafting, this is just an optional to those high school, because kasi meron dun vocational or talagang national high school lang talaga, or national vocational. Kung national vocational school nyo, baka alam nyo to, or it's also a part of ICT, or sa mga nag-take ng strand ng TVL, kung may kakilala man kayo, meron yun. Okay, so also, General Physics 1 itself, yung inano natin ngayon, kung natatandaan nyo pa yung resultant vector of force vector, magagamit nyo yan. Force vector, forces, which is types of forces, contact forces, and also torque. So, what is static equilibrium? So, it when we say static equilibrium, it is the state where an object or system is at rest and all forces acting on it are balanced. The word static means the object is not moving or not in motion, and equilibrium means the forces are balanced. Ibig sabihin ng static, from the word itself, diba, it is a stop. Diba, meron tayong tinatawag na static forces, which is hindi sila gumagalaw. Common sense. And equilibrium, they must be balanced. We have the example of static equilibrium, an object on a level surface where the force of gravity is resisted by an equal upward force from the surface. A mechanical system of strings, masses, and a pawn, where the knot that ties the strings on the pawn is in static equilibrium. Okay, yung pagtali, di ba, pag hinihila, may humila doon sa isa, may humila doon sa kabila. And conditions for static equilibrium. How do we say those forces is in static equilibrium? The sum of all forces acting of the object is 0. Mathematically, the summation of all forces must be equated to 0. The directions and magnitudes of all forces balance each other out. The object is not experiencing any type of motion, including rotational or translational. Unlike sa kinematics, gumagalaw yon, di ba? Meron tayong tinatawag na initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration. Di ba, inaan natin doon when it comes to a stop or starts from rest. Dito, walang gumagalaw. The velocity acceleration must be 0. And there's no displacement, change in position. Next, what is the significance or importance of static equilibrium? Static equilibrium is important in the design of rigid structures such as floor systems and suspension bridges. These structures must maintain static equilibrium under all loading conditions. Sa madaling salita, most likely ina-apply siya sa structures, sa building, bridges. Di ba kung mapapansin nyo, meron yung sa, ano ba yung tulay ng Santa Isabela? What makes the bridge sira siya? Bakit siya nasira? Okay, so di-discuss natin yun sa Gen Physics 2. Pero, alam naman natin nasira yon due to yung kulang sa loads, which is hindi sila nag-balance yung force ng gravity at nung lifting ng structures ng tulay na yon. Okay. Let me introduce you the concepts about static equilibrium in the following objects. Okay. Napapansin isang bola, since wala siyang humihila doon, walang kumukontra ng kanyang force, gumagalaw at gumagalaw siya. Walang tigil. Ayun, tingnan nyo. Gumagalaw lang yung bola. This is a neutral equilibrium. Next, dito sa unstable, tingnan nyo yung sa ano, yung sa ano niya. Di ba gumagalaw siya? It's either papunta doon or papunta dito, ganon. Then sa unstable, kung tingnan nyo siyang mabuti, di ba kung tutulak yung pentel pen, since mas mahina yung force ng inexert ni pen sa tao, natumba siya. Di ba nung tinulak niya yung pen, di ba? Lumalaban din ng force yung pen, kaso mas malakas yung force ng kamay ng tao. Dito sa stable, ito naman, kung may nag-exert dito, ayan, ilan lang yung force niya, meron lang dito, at nag-stay siya, line. Okay. Let us have an explanation. So, kung sabihin natin itong part na to, naghihilahan sila nung donkey o kabayo, saka nung tao. Napansin nyo siya, nag-exert ng force yung kabayo papunta doon at yung tao pa doon. So, ibig sabihin, naghihilahan sila parang tug of war kung sa totoong buhay. Diba, kung papansinin nyo siya, naghihilahan sila. May force dito, may force doon. So, sabi nga doon sa condition natin that paano natin masasabi na yun ay isang static equilibrium, yung mga isang forces when the summation due horizontal axis is equal to 0, so does y. And so does z. So, kung i-recap natin, and also its torques. Diba? Kung sabihin natin sa torque, paano natin siya i-apply? Kung sabihin natin ito yung pen ko, kung may umaano dito ng clockwise, dapat may umaano din ng counterclockwise. Diba? Kung sabihin natin clockwise to, counterclockwise, dapat parang igaganyan ko siya. Yung dalawang daliri ko dyan, so di sila mag-iikot. Unless if I let go of this, so iikot yan. Ganun lang po. Okay, so let us recap. So, ayan, para iwasan confusions nyo, this is the x-axis, z, and positive y-axis. So, kapag nag-exceed siya, okay. So, kung dito yan, malamang this is negative x-axis. Pero kung nagdito to, this must be negative z-axis, or kapag dito naman, this must be negative y-axis. Ganun lang po. Let us have just a recap of 3D coordinate system. Kung di man na-discuss sa inyo nung high school, di-discuss natin ngayon. So, ganyan lang po siya. So, meron tayong tinatawag na dito sa 2D, di ba kung sa 2D, meron tayo dito, ayan, x and y axis. Kapag dito naman, meron tayong another view, we have y and z axis. Ganun lang po siya. At wala pong nakakalito. Wala dapat kalito, rather. So, torque, alam na natin yan. Since counterclockwise and clockwise ang kontrahan yan, then sa y, taas baba, sa z, kaliwat kanan, or so does x. Depende siya sa point of view. Okay, in rigid bodies, a rigid body is a solid object that doesn't deform or change shape. It's an idealization that's used in physics and mechanics. Yung mga mechanics of rigid bodies and deformable bodies. Deformable bodies will be discussed in general physics too. So, stay tuned. We had the properties of rigid bodies. Kasi sabi nga natin, if the rigid body deform, that's called deformable bodies. If not, stays in rigid bodies. Okay. Properties of rigid bodies. The distance between any points of the body remains constant. The body is unaffected by external forces or moments. All points on the body have the same velocity and acceleration. When in motion, every line in the body remains parallel to its original position. Examples of rigid bodies, wheels and rotors of motors. Approximation of rigid bodies. In reality, all bodies deform when forces are applied. But the approximation of a rigid body is acceptable if the deformation are small relative to the body's overall motion. For example, the flutter in an aircraft wing is negligible compared to the motion of the aircraft as whole. Related concept, the bones of the human skeleton are an example of rigid bodies in the human body. Di sila deformable. Di ba pagka inanambawa, ito yung human bone, di ba kahit iganyan niyo siya force niya or pag ganon, hilahin niyo pag ganyan, hindi masisira yung buto. Unless, kung sabihin natin yung buto niyo is ano lang siya pa dito or pa dito, paano kung may gumanon dito sa force na to? Yun na. Okay, so in rigid bodies, there must be a support. So let's just say sa mga equilibrium, mapapansin yung mga ganito. Sabaw, this is a pin support. This is applied to concrete, no? Yung rollers nyo. So, yung reaction nyo lang yan pataas. So, kung i-apply lang natin dito, kung ito nagpapataas, so ito may pababa. Kontrahan. Pin support, ito naman kapag may precast beam ka, saka yung column mo. Yung column mo, pag kami ganyan, para madikit yung ating beam. So, ibig sabihin, may exert ng force dito at force dito. So, parang ganito lang po. Okay, so next, we have some fixed support. And we have the clockwise and counterclockwise. So ngayon, let us proceed with truss analysis. When we say truss, a truss is an assembly of members such as beams connected by nodes that creates a rigid structure. In engineering, a truss is a structure that consists of two force members only, where the forces are organized so that the assemblage as a whole behaves as a single object. So, sa truss analysis, hindi naman siya most likely nakano lang siya ng ano. Kung mapapansin, ito yung itsura ng truss. So, dito rin ang pinaka-application din kasi ng static equilibrium. Diba? Sabi dito, sa most likely sa engineering and specifically civil. Okay? Diba? Mga ano ng structure. So, mapapansin nyo yung structures niya. Ano ba purpose ng truss? Diba? Para doon natin ilalagay yung bubong which makes the put the house in a safe place. Diba? Kung mapapansin, ito yung kanyang sa bubong. Most likely makikita nyo to kung halimbawa sa bahay nyo, kung ginagawa yung bahay nyo, hindi pa gawa yung kisame. Makikita nyo kung paano nilagay ng mga construction workers yung yero ng bubong nyo dun sa structures. Hindi siya basta inassemble lang, okay na to, ganon. Hindi po ganon yun. No? So, most likely daw, it consists of two force members only. Most likely. Okay? So, yun po. Okay, so, when we say truss analysis, so, the main purpose of structural analysis on a truss is to determine the internal force of the members. The member forces are needed for designing the members and joints. To analyze a truss, two simplifying assumptions can be used. These assumptions idealizing a real truss in practice are as follows. Okay, so sabi natin, ito yung parang makikita nyo, parang dito kasi sa truss na to, ayan, ito mapapansin nyo, meron yung mga internal forces yan, yung parang imaginary na, nabawa ko ito, paangat to, yung isa papaba, parang ganun, something like that. So, halimbawa, types. So, paano natin ma-determine yung inside forces or yung internal forces ng truss? So, meron tayong tinatawag na method of joints and method of section. So, external versus internal forces tayo. So, paano natin siya apply dito? Halimbawa, when we say external forces, it originates from the outside system. Can directly affect the motion of an object. Example, gravity pulling a pull down, a push on a box, wind resistance of the car. Ayan, di ba? Pag nipupush nyo yung nyo, that's an external force. When we say internal force, originate within the system between components of the same object. Do not change the overall motion of the system. Examples, tension in the rope, forces between molecules in a solid, muscle forces within human body. Diba? Parang you can ask yourself what's behind of your strength by pushing an object or lifting. Diba? So, it's inside. Yung bawa, ito yung kamay nyo. Kamay ko. Sige, kamay ko na lang. O braso ko. Sabihin, there's a muscle inside of it which gives us a strength. Example scenario. A friction, halimbawa dito, si eksena, a car with the driver. So, external force, friction between the car tires and the road. Sa labas yun at yung nasa loob, the force the driver exerts on the steering wheel. So, what's behind of moving fast cars? Of course, it's from the driver. Something like that. it's up to the driver kung mabagal o mabilis ang kanyang takbo. Ganun lang po. Okay, so let us have an illustration. Let's just say this is a rigid body, or let's just say kahit anong body ang isipin nyo. Pwede na, pero sige, specifically, let's make it a rock or sa cement, sa column na nakikita nyo sa likod ko. Isipin nyo ito siya. Ayan, itong kabuuan na to, isipin nyo yan yung rigid body natin. Kung sabihin natin there's an external force, this is a compressed external force, which ang nasa loob niya, may kumokontra sa loob. Di ba pagka nagbubuhat ng isang object, bakit siya mabigat? Di ba? So, this is what we call internal forces. So, napapansin nyo, tinutulak natin siya compression, tapos meron siyang kumukontra dito sa loob. That is a tension. Ito naman, kapag tension, external force, at sodas, baliktad din. Okay, so, let us proceed with method of joints. So, tension method of joints, it is the process is used to solve for unknown forces acting on members of the truss. The method centers on the joints or connection points between the members, and it is usually the fastest and easiest way to solve for all the unknown forces in a structure. Sabihin natin this is ano. Actually, cable to eh. Cable na to. Pero, kung sabihin natin, ito pong part na to, meron siyang internal forces. Imaginarily, meron tayong internal forces dyan. So, we have this one, and this one. Pero, pwede naman ding ano, pabaliktad naman. Pwede paganon siya. Pero, it's up to us naman. Okay, itong part na to. And, we will exert this one. So, force A to B, force B to C, and force C to D. Kung sabihin natin mag-ano tayo at joint B, so meron tayong gantong force. Which is diyan kayo magsa-summation of forces. That is a concurrent force. So, that's this one. Or pwede rin naman dito, kasi meron na din siyang internal forces because we all know this is a, tawag dito, team support. No? So, kung sabihin natin meron siyang forces dito, meron siyang forces dito. Or sabihin natin pwedeng pa ganyan, pa dito. Something like that. Okay, so this only used to find two unknown forces applied through concurrent forces to be discussed further. So next video na itong ibang concept. So let's just say itong pwede natin magamit and this one. Summation of forces of X and Y. Next, method of section is a technique in engineering, most likely, particularly within the study of statics, used to calculate forces in individual members of truss structures. This approach involves isolating a portion of the structures and applying equilibrium equations to solve for unknowns. Let's just say this is a structure. Most likely dito talaga siya ina-apply. And nag-section tayo dyan, malamang meron tayong anong forces dyan. Ito na po yun. Ito, B to C, F to C, F to E. Ganun po siya. And dun kayo mag-exert ng summation of forces. This only used to find three unknown forces applied through non-concurrent forces. Of course, to be discussed in my next videos. So, tatlo na yan. Kasi three unknown forces eh. At sosolve yan simultaneously gaya na ng ginawa natin sa force vector. Kaso ngayon, tatlong unknowns na siya. Paano yun? May Caltech tayo siya. Okay, for better, for simpler application, hindi lang naman siya for three unknowns. Paano kung ito? Paano kung ganyan lang? Three unknowns ba yan? 'Di ba? Kung sabihin natin meron siyang internal forces, kinuha ko lang yung rigid body, ay ani lang natin itong part na to. Kung sabihin natin itong part na to, itong yung buo na yan, obviously, hindi natin siya yan ng forces. Paano kung hanapin natin yung internal forces between the two? So, i-cut natin siya, di ba? This is a cutting plane line. Just a trivia sa mga kung nag-aral kayo ng drafting, ng mga sumunod, pero technical drawing. Yeah, mahana natin. That's a section plane, cutting section line. Okay, cutting plane line ladder. Sorry. So, itong part na to, nahati nyo na siya, ito na yon. So, same as this one. Pero, ngayon, itong part na to, nilabas nyo what is inside of them. Diba? Isipin nyo. Before you get the egg yolk of the egg, halimbawa sa itlog, diba kailangan binibiyak nyo muna? Diba? Or same as the mangoes, if you want to eat the mango, if you want to find out how sweet is the mango, you have to slice it and eat it. Diba? Parang dito lang din. Before you discover, you have to cut it first. Pero in real life talaga, di siya na-apply. Ano yung bibiyakin mo yung bato? Ewan ko ba kasi kauso nito. Okay, so we have force A to B. So kung tatry natin siya summation of forces, ito na yung lalabas, diba? So positive yung B, AB, saka yung ito negative. Then para malaman yung si yung unknown, ito na yun. Lilipat nyo lang yung B, yung P dun sa kabila. Ano lang po siya. Okay, let us enumerate the lesson outline to discuss further in my next videos. So first, we have to discuss the equilibrium of concurrent forces, equilibrium of non-concurrent forces, law of friction, equilibrium of space forces or 3D. So, ibig sabihin ng 3D, X, Y, Z, yung Y, X, Z axis, and surface loads, shear, and moment diagram. So, yung naka-blue na yan lang ang included sa lesson natin sa General Physics. And this one included beyond General Physics. To be discussed na sa TikTok tong part 2. Okay? So, yan. Proceed na tayo sa first lesson. It's about equilibrium of concurrent forces and must be discussed in my next video. So, hopefully, you understand some concepts, which is yung concept na diniscuss natin today, magagamit natin next video. So, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.